Starting lineup for Elizabethtown High School. Number 1, Marissa Bates. Number 2, Maya Courtney. Number 3, Noelle Garcia. Number 4, Riley Pritchard. Number 9, Anna Garcia. Number 11, Kennedy Carter. Number 12, Emma Robinson. Number 15, Bella Yates. Number 17, Malia Courtney. Number 22, Campbell Wallace. And number 23, Skylar Brandenburg. The head coach for Elizabethtown is Rob Zoller. Assistant coach, Abigail Zoller. Assistant coach, John Parsons. Assistant coach, Ann Morgan. And assistant coach, John Bumpus. And now, the Central Hardin Bruins. Number 0, Hannah Ferguson. Number 2, Molly Bryan. Number 3, Shelby Eidson. Number 9, Jordan Rowland. Number 11, Ava Stiff. Number 14, Chloe Hayes. Number 15, Audrey McGee. Number 18, Carly Lang. Number 20, Mallory Pretty. Number 22, Gabrielle Callahan. And number 24, Ava McGee. Head coach is Justin Maddock. Assistant coach, Eric Kravinsky. Assistant coach, Michaela Napper. Assistant coach, Sydney Pinkham. Assistant coach, Danny Nichols. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise, face the flag, as we honor America for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
These two teams last met earlier in the season at Central Hardin, with Central Hardin winning 3-0. Both teams coming in pretty hot. They're both 8-0-1, and both of them lost on September the 14th. So it's been almost 4 weeks since these two teams have tasted a defeat. One of these teams will lose tonight. The good news is that both of them will advance to the 5th Region Finals at Nelson County next week. So we've got a great game, and this is going to be a pretty exciting contest. And let's just see what happens. Both teams cruised into the finals. Central Hardin defeated the John Hardin Bulldogs 9-0. So the game was over at halftime, and the Panthers from Elizabethtown were tested a little bit more. They had to go the full 80 minutes against the Trojans of North Hardin. They prevailed in regulation 8-1. So this match will be 80 minutes of regulation. If it goes into overtime, it'll be 2 5-minute sudden death overtime periods, and if it's still tied at that point, it will go into penalty kicks. Okay, and we're off. Ball is sent up the right sideline by the Panthers. We have a Central Hardin throw-in. E-Town kicks the ball out of bounds. That was Garcia on the right side. We have Stith on the left side here taking the throw-in. Headed back to Stith, who one-times it, and this looks like it's going to be collected by Bates. Let's see, the goalkeeper, she has 10 shutouts on the season. E-Town scored 95 goals and allowed just 14 on the season. Central Hardin has scored 63 goals, allowing 62 goals, allowing 20. All right, we have Carter going down the sideline, crossing it across the box. We have a foot race, and it looks a little physical already. And the ball is out of bounds, or we have a free kick. All right, we have a free kick. And Ferguson will take this. This game probably will be fairly physical, my guess. Just the nature of the two teams. They both play very controlled, very skilled, on the ground kind of play. Carter almost intercepts that pass, putting a lot of pressure on Callahan. Ball comes over. It is kicked up to McGee on that side. She's looking, finds McGee. Garcia clears the ball out, and we have a Central Hardin throw-in. Stith to take it. And knocked out of bounds by Robinson. We have another throw-in for Central. Stith again. Brian trying to gesture to her to pick it up, to play with it. Yates clears that, headed forward. Touched in, played back to Courtney. Courtney trying to find Carter on that. Ball goes out. We have a throw-in on this sideline for Central Hardin. McGee with the ball. She crosses it in. Headed by McGee. Garcia controls it. Finds Garcia. Stith steps in. Passes. And ball is poked out of bounds for an E-Town throw-in. Number 17, nope, number 4. Pritchard set to take the throw-in. Ball is knocked in and knocked out by Rowlett. Garcia with the ball now, battling with McGee. These two teams in their first two games. Okay, ball is squeezed through, and we have a foot race, and Yates is able to come away with that and clear it. Good pressure, but it goes right to Yates, or Hayes, who crosses it in. Bates on the collection. These two teams, their two semifinal matches, had the luxury of being able to pass the ball pretty easily. This game's going to be a little bit more hard-pressed. Ball knocked out of bounds by Edson on that sideline. E-Town to throw it in. Ball comes to Garcia. Ball's passed in to the middle. They're working that right sideline right now. E-Town's trying to find an opening. That was off of McGee. We have a throw-in again for E-Town. Ball is headed, flicked on, going into the corner. Edson and Garcia are both battling over there. Garcia comes with it, makes a really nice cross. Ferguson on the pursuit the whole way. She had a bead on the ball the whole time. She's going to throw it out to... And the ball is cleared up by the Central Hardin player, and Bates takes it. She takes the kick, goes to midfield, bounces over several players, bounces off a Central player. E-Town is able to pass it to Carter. Carter and McGee tangled up again. They've already been tangled up once. Pritchard to take the throw here. A lot of pressure by both sides. Not going to be easy going as far as the passes, and they're both still a little bit amped up. We're about 6 minutes in, so there's a lot of just trying to jockey for position and figure out the pace of the game. Both of them like to play fast, so ball is played out to the left sideline. Carter with the ball, one-on-one against McGee. Carter over to... shot and goal by number 12. Robinson made a move, cut the ball back inside, and with not a lot of power, and this is the game of soccer, you don't have to kill the ball. She tucked it into the left side. Ferguson did not really have a chance. So Elizabethtown has taken a 1-0 lead at the 33:50 mark. It is E-Town 1, Central Hardin 0. Ball is played up the wing. Central's not wasting any time. And ball headed out of bounds over on that left sideline by McGee. Throw in taken by Elizabethtown. McGee, number 15, with it. Passes it up, finds Brian. Brian looking. Okay, that was off of McGee on that sideline. Brian had tried to find her. Ball is thrown in. It's flicked on by E-Town. Edson stepping up. Hayes with it. Oh, we got an off. Oh, it's onside. One-on-one. Bates comes out and snuffs it. That was a tremendous save by Marissa Bates. Came out and snuffed that. It almost looked like an offsides from up here, but the ref said play on. Central had a legitimate breakaway. One-on-one, and Bates was up to the task. Made a very nice save on that. Pritchard is set to take the goal kick for the Panthers. A lot of action in this game. A lot of intensity. Wallace kicks the ball out of bounds. Stith to take the throw-in. Wallace looking, going all the way back to Bates. Teams are opening up. Bates looking for Courtney on this sideline and kicks it out. We got Callahan taking this throw. And Brian crosses the ball in. Bates comes out and makes the save. So both teams are putting pressure on one another early, to be expected. Bates with the kick, going to midfield. Courtney with the ball, or Kennedy, sorry. Carter, sorry. Central crosses the ball in, and Bates collects that rather easily. Ball goes off of McGee to Edson with it in the middle, being battled with Wallace, and Stith goes back to Ferguson, who kicks it straight up the middle of the field, finds McGee. Ball is played out to the left side, well defended by Garcia on McGee right now, two of them, and goes off of McGee for a throw-in for the Panthers. Be interesting to see the subbing pattern tonight. Central Hardin was able to use a lot of subs, and they only played 40 minutes. E-Town had to play an entire game, but they also used their whole bench. So I think both teams are rested. It's a championship game. They've had a day off in between. Hayes on the side, getting ready to take kick, number 14 for Central Hardin. She kicks and goes right at Bates, in center of the goal. So Bates is about to take the kick. Oh, she kicks a beautiful kick. Goes up to, it looked like it was a handball on Robinson. She was trying to bring it down, and it just got her in the hand. So we have a direct kick for Central Hardin. Ball is played up. It is headed by Elizabethtown. Carter with the ball. She passes it up to Garcia, who falls down. Rowlett passes the ball up. Nobody really there. Goes right to the goalkeeper. Bates is clearing half field by a good 5 to 7 yards. Her kicks are really good. And ball is kicked out by Stith. We've got we got a throw-in for the Panthers. We got several Bruins about ready to check in. Okay, ball played over to Hayes. Challenged by Courtney. Hayes still with the ball, streaking down the wing. She finds Bates, has to come all the way out of the box. She collides with McGee, but is able to get the ball up. Wallace has it. Robinson now trying to slot it through to Garcia. All right. Yates with it now. Fast pace here. They're really trying to find seams here, both teams. Pretty with it in the middle. All right, ball is intercepted, taken away. E-Town's got it. They've got, Central's back number-wise. It's probably a 4-on-3. Pritchard with the ball. Passes over to Robinson. Robinson looking, cleared by Central Hardin. Cleared back in by Garcia. Wallace with it, pokes it out to Pritchard. Pritchard takes a very long shot. There was a line drive. Ferguson was in the right spot at the right time. Saved by Ferguson. That ball had some heat on it. That was a heat-seeking missile, but it went right at Ferguson. Punt goes over midfield, headed by Wallace, and it's out of bounds. It will be a throw-in, and we have 4 subs coming in for Central Hardin. Almost our way. Okay, ball is going to be thrown in here by Central. Pritchard knocks it. Davis with her first touch of the game. Kicked up by Callahan. Ball is Courtney with it and kicks it out of bounds. Throw in Central Hardin. Alma Sarway is taking this throw. And ball is played out. Ball is kicked up. And headed. Garcia heads it forward to Carter. Carter's running, and it is kicked out of bounds by the Bruins. We have a deep throw-in taken by Courtney. And now E-Town is going to send in 3 subs of their own. Number 4, Pritchard. Courtney's taking the throw. Ball goes up, and it is knocked out again by Central. Courtney with it. 25 into the game. Number 20. Ball is cleared out. Pritchard steps into it. Davis kicks it. Pritchard wins it off the back of E-Town player. Brian with the ball, looking. Ball is collected by Bates. Brian was looking for Lang, just unsuccessful. Okay, ball's at midfield, bounce around. Wallace hits it to Garcia. Lang and Wallace up. Wallace wins it, heads it out of bounds, and we have a throw-in taken by Callahan here on the right sideline. So at the 24-22 mark of the game, Elizabethtown has a 1-0 lead on a goal by Robinson. And ball is kicked out of bounds by Reed. We have a throw-in for Central Hardin. This is taken by Callahan again. Throws it to Reed. She's going back to Callahan. Crosses it into the middle. Davis with a touch. Garcia with a touch. And Bates coming out. Davis running in. And Bates makes a sliding save. Garcia was also there to help. Or Courtney, rather. Courtney and Garcia were in the vicinity. Davis gave chase. Bates was the one coming up with the ball. Ball is out of bounds. We have another throw-in. Alma Sarway is taking this throw on the left side. Ball is stolen away by the Panthers. They have possession. Mitzenway passes the ball up. Ball is kicked out of bounds by Central. It'll be an E-Town throw. Johnson is giving the ball over to Courtney. So the ball comes in. It's off Central. And Elizabethtown knocks the ball up and out of bounds again. You definitely see more throw-ins in a game like this when there's a lot more speed. Simply because you've got ball is knocked in, Garcia with it, Mitzenway is cleared out. Central was able to clear that out. You just see a lot more throw-ins with the ball when the speed of play is up. Teams are jockeying for position, and there's a lot more action on the ball. Wallace heads that up. Edson heads it, kicked out by Callahan. Ball coming to the midfield. Garcia with a lot of time. She looks for Mitzenway. Almasara is on it over there. She makes a nice move to get around Mitzenway. She's carrying down the left sideline. Has a lot of space. Wallace challenges. And the ball goes out of bounds. We have another Panther throw-in. Ball comes into Johnson. She one-touches it off of the central player. We've got another throw-in. Johnson's going to give it up again to Courtney. Courtney throws it in. Johnson back flicks it all the way into Ferguson. Ferguson rolls it out to Callahan on the right side. Callahan's got real estate. She delivers the ball. We've got Yates and Brian battling, and they were battling, and it looks like it may have been a foul on Robinson. Or Yates, sorry. Foul on Robinson. No, I'm sorry. It was Yates. It was Yates and Bryan. And anyway, we have a Central Hardin free kick taken by Edson, number 3. She kicks the ball into the middle. It's headed out initially by Central, or E-Town. Shot in with not a lot of pace by McGee. And Bates is able to collect that easily. So, kind of a missed opportunity there. There's been some good looks from both teams. Bates kicking the ball up. Ball is coming back towards that end, and Courtney kicks the ball out of bounds for a throw-in for the Bruins. We're halfway through the match. Elizabethtown 1, Central Hardin 0. Ball comes in. Bates is there. I think there's a magnet on both the goalies because balls are going right to both for the most part. Central's getting good contact. It's just straight at her most of the time. Headed out by Wallace. Throw in Bruins. Getting ready to have about 4 more subs come in for the Panthers. Almasawari throws the ball. Goes out of bounds. Another throw-in for the Bruins. Off Wallace will go again. Ball is flicked over one time. Nice move on the sideline. Mitzenway was challenging, and the ball goes out of bounds. Excuse me. So Courtney throws the ball down the sideline. And that was Wallace looking for Carter, who collides somewhat with Ferguson, who was able to collect the ball. No love lost between both of these teams, and there shouldn't be. I would say they are rivals. Flicked on, flicked down. Brandenburg. Robinson passes it in. Ball goes out to Alma Sarway. Ball gets kicked into the middle. Brandenburg is looking, finds Garcia. Garcia is trying to find Carter here on the left side. She does collect it. She's one-on-one with Callahan on the left side. Carter makes a nice move, but okay, she's still going. She has Wallace. Wallace hits it, flicks off a Central Hardin player, kicked out by Callahan, and Carter's got it again. And Garcia being defended very well by Lang. We've got a throw-in in the corner for the Panthers, taken by Courtney. Carter back to Courtney. Courtney one times, doesn't get much on that. Kicked out to Brian. Brian is one on about 4. E-Town's 3 defenders are back, and that ball was kicked out of bounds by Payne. So we have a throw-in for the Bruins. So we're set for the throw-in on this right sideline. Courtney throwing it in. Ball is flicked over, taken over by Pritchard. Pritchard trying to find Carter. Callahan one-times it. Yates intercepts, looking for Carter again. Carter being hounded by Callahan. They're matching up really well over here. Davis looking for Hayes. Carter sends it into the middle of the field. Pritchard with the ball. She kicks it off the back of Wallace's heel. Edson with it now, battling with Wallace. Oh, that was a pretty vicious little hit there on Wallace by Edson. I think it looked worse than it was, but her arm came out. And I think contact was initiated actually by Wallace. And that's why the ball is going the other way. Instead of the kick for Elizabethtown, the kick is for Central Hardin. So Edson was Wallace was falling down, and Edson, when they collided, she did go down hard, but it looked far worse than what it was. Edson is set to take this kick. We got a direct free kick. She sends it in. It goes off of McGee, who heads it right to Bates. Bates collects that. And they're all positioning for Bates's kick. She sends it. It is flicked up by Wallace and comes down to McGee with Pritchard on her. Wallace attempts to take it. McGee finds McGee, who crosses it in. Hayes with the ball. Davis with it. McGee on being pushed by Garcia with 2 hands. That was a clear foul. Or rather, Courtney. Courtney clearly pushed her. So Central Hardin has an opportunity. They're about, probably 28 yards out, roughly. So Central has a free kick. Let's see what is done. Goes right to, well, not right to. Bates has to jump a little bit for that one. Saved by Bates. So Bates has the time. She's looking, and she makes her kick. Going to midfield. Back flick by Wallace to Garcia. Broken up by Howell, but now Garcia with it. Finding Garcia. Garcia takes a left-footed shot. It goes right to Ferguson, who is waiting for the ball. She collects that. And she delivers. Alma Sarway kicks it up. Pritchard heads it. Edson brings it down. Edson looking and going over the top. Bates with the ball. So both teams playing a little bit direct. I guess you would have to in a game like this. 2 evenly matched teams. Going direct would not be a bad thing. Wallace with it. Taken away by McGee. Comes over to Carter. She passes back. Ball comes up to Garcia. Garcia being defended over there by Rowlett. And the ball is off of Elizabethtown. So Callahan's going to take the throw here. Subs coming in for both teams. Brandenburg going out. Durbin coming in for the first time. And I think Stith has come back in for Central Hardin. Durbin hadn't played yet, so this is her first mention. Pritchard taking this throw on the left sideline. Hotly contested off of Bryan. Carter with the throw. Going down to the corner. Garcia is putting some pressure on Rowlett. Kicks it out of bounds. And Carter defers to Pritchard, who's going to throw it in, looking for Carter in the corner, being defended. She kicks it out of bounds, and we have a Central Hardin throw-in. Callahan going to take this throw. We have another sub coming in. And this is Lang coming back in for the Bruins with Bryan heading out. And this has been a sub fest here in the first half. Two very deep teams using their benches very well. Pritchard heads that out of bounds. This is a chess match for sure. Callahan taking it again. She throws it into Edson. Edson sets it up. Pritchard heads it. Davis heads it. Yates with it right now. Taken away by McGee, who sends it up. And Garcia clears it up to Wallace. Wallace finds Carter. Carter trying to slot the ball through. Didn't quite have the angle. It was too direct. Ferguson easily gets that. This game's soccer's a geometry game. It's all about the angles. The run was too straight. Pritchard heads it the wrong way, but it comes back to Garcia, who kicks the ball straight up. Pritchard again. Edson and Pritchard with it. Robinson, now Edson with it. Cuts it back. Looks up. Headed away by Yates. Wallace and McGee battling. And ball is kicked up to Sister McGee. Yates takes this. Collides with McGee. So sister to sister here. Garcia putting on the chase. Oh my, that's a goal by Hayes on a pass by, that was Chloe Hayes at the 9:11 mark. Goal for Central Hardin. I want to say she was assisted by Hayes. So we have a tie ball game here. It's 1-1 at 9:11 appropriately. So that was one of the Sister McGees passing the ball in. They had numbers, and she just put the ball in really well to Hayes's foot. Bates really had nothing she could do with that one. So Davis with the ball right now. You can tell that the momentum feels like it's shifted a little bit. Both teams are, I'd say Elizabethtown had a little bit more of the pressure. I feel like Central's kind of found a little more energy here. Callahan hits it, throws it in, flicked on. Okay, that's knocked out of bounds by Reed. Callahan set to take this throw-in. Feels like there's just been a little shot of energy for Central Hardin. So the score is 1-1. We have a tie game. Callahan has a pretty nice throw. She's backing up and she chucks it in. Finds McGee. Ball is kicked out by Reed again. And another Callahan throw in on this right side. Bates is shielding her eyes with one hand from the sun. It's kind of a bad place for the sun. Okay, that ball is flicked out. Hayes with a one-time, and she kicks it very, very high and just to the right of the goal, over the goal. So lots of subs coming in and out, as to be expected. Championship game. No holds barred. Both teams are advancing to the 5th region, regardless of the outcome of this game. That was kind of a push in the back. That was, the ball is kicked out by Garcia. Throw in for the Bruins. Callahan set to take this throw. Amazingly, we don't have any subs on this throw. There's just been a lot of subbing. Championship games, at least for district, are kind of fun because, they're kind of fun simply because both teams know they're not going home. So they both play your hardest and do your best. Okay, Edson was trying to find somebody in the middle, and the ball goes straight to Bates, who collects that easily. She kicks it, goes to midfield. McGee over there. Robinson coming back for it, and it's off McGee. We have a throw-in for the Panthers. Courtney over there to take it. Headed away by Stith. Ball is played back to Courtney. Comes up. All right, so now we're kind of just playing kickball here. Ball's going back and forth and back and forth. Nobody's really possessing. It looks like they're trying to find home runs. And Bates comes out of the box, goes to the corner of the box and collects it. So that last exchange of about 5 or 6 kicks was just bang, 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 bang. Nobody really had control of the ball. It's kind of like they're looking for the home run. Bates's kick goes out of bounds, and we have a throw-in for the Bruins, and more subs coming in. Okay, ball is played out of bounds on that Stiff McGee exchange. E-Town throws it in. Garcia with it, turns, finds Carter's feet. She is surrounded by 3 defenders. She takes a shot that is wide right. So Central Hardin had that defended really well. We've got a goal kick for the Bruins. So at the 4:48 mark of the half, the score, E-Town 1, Central Hardin 1. Been a very hard-fought, well-fought first half. Wallace heads that. McGee back to Wallace. Wallace finds Callahan and Carter really battling over there. Seen Carter on the ground at least 3 times. This just been an aggressive game. Pritchard battling, comes up with the ball, looking forward. Central is able to pass this out to Callahan. Carter again. Carter and Callahan again. I keep saying it. She throws it in. It's cleared out by Howell. And we have a throw-in. So Garcia passed that ball into the middle. Turned by Wallace. Shot. And it deflects off of Ferguson initially, but she easily catches the ball that had popped out. She kicks it, and the ball goes past midfield. Bryan flicks it over to McGee, back to Bryan. Bryan to McGee. She's racing down that left sideline. Courtney's there. She passes it in. Oh, wow. That was almost a goal. The ball popped through. Bates caught it, and then it popped out, and she had to use her other arm to reach. And it was close. That was close. That was a sneaky shot. Just kind of went through everybody. So Bates with it. Headed forward by Callahan. Wallace and pops it forward to Garcia. And McGee finds Stith. Stith finds Robinson for E-Town. And she finds Carter. Carter and Edson are battling. Broken up. Wallace comes in. And Wallace shoots. And, oh, wow. She had a clear shot at the goal and went for that right corner, hit it off the post. It was a good shot. The control was there. It was just a little bit to the right. Ferguson was moving in that direction, but that ball had a lot of pace on it. When you play on turf, especially, ball just goes so much faster, and there's not a lot of skip, especially now with the turf being dry. It's not skipping as much as it would if it were wet. Ball is played out on a goal kick, pressure by Robinson, played up the field and out of bounds by Stith. We have an E-Town throw-in. Looks like Courtney's going to take this throw-in. I guess we're going to come farther back. Courtney's going to retake this throw-in. We've got about a minute and a half left in the first half. Girls 17th District final, living up to its billing. It is 1-1. It's been action-packed. A lot of good passing. Just a lot of pressure. Pritchard and Reed really battling there. Or rather, no, sorry, Lang. That was Pritchard and Lang that were battling here. All right, Courtney to take this.
1 minute.
Stith heads it out of bounds, right to Courtney, who just says, thank you, I'll take it again. That one is back flicked by Garcia, and it is kicked over to McGee and kicked out of bounds by Hurley. So we have a throw-in for the Bruins. About 35 seconds remaining in the first half. Looks like Callahan is switching sides with Stith, and we'll take the throw in here. Wow, Callahan has a really long throw. Wallace sends the ball up, and that was off of Callahan. So the ball comes in. Carter's got the ball, and she's being pressured by Stith. She takes a shot. It was a good shot. Ferguson was there. So at the half of the girls 17th District Soccer Championship game here at Elizabethtown High School, we have a tie. It's 1-1. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live streaming, Channel 1, programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom. Providing service for all of your telecommunication needs, featuring Bark, protect what matters most. BBTEL stream, watch TV with your BBTEL app. BBTEL Secure, a safer home awaits. BBTEL Blast, make the most of your Wi-Fi. Visit bbtel.com today. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results, with locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, Bardstown, Brandenburg, and South Louisville. For more information, go online at physicaltherapy.com. eTownSelfStorage.com, finally a place conveniently located in Elizabethtown for more than just your self-storage needs. Featuring video surveillance, climate-controlled self-storage, but also storage for RVs and boats with electrical outlets in every spot to keep everything charged up and ready to go when you are. Go to eTownSelfStorage.com for more information. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff available for your recycling needs. Located off of the I-65 exit, 91 on 311 Steel Drive in Elizabethtown. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrap metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company and has been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties and the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Whatever your pest control issues are, termites, spiders, crickets, general pests, even moles, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely and effectively eliminate the problem. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. West Point Bank, hometown banking made simple, has 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. Or find us online at westpointbank.com. West Point Bank, working better together. Special thanks to our HCEC-TV crew tonight, provided by Jeremy Miller, Case Taylor, and Isaiah Washington. We'll be back for the second half action.
Hi, this is John White with HCEC-TV, and we're here with another sponsor, one of our great sponsors that we have for our high school sports action, that being Physical Therapy Associates and Whitney Ballou. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And thank Physical Therapy Associates for being such a long-time sponsor of our sporting events. It's really helpful and really nice that you do that.
We love our athletes, so.
And so you're a physical therapist, but talk about some of maybe the other staff that you have there at your locations.
Yeah, so E-Town is our biggest clinic. We currently have 6 clinics. I have been there for a little over 8 years now. We have had kind of a transition of some of our staff, but we've had a lot of the same people work for us for quite some time, which I think means a lot about the company.
Right.
We have a satellite branch of our Elizabethtown clinic where we have a therapist that treats women's health, which I know is a very hard thing to get into because there's not a lot of providers that offer that service.
Right.
So she stays pretty busy with that. We also have locations in Ratcliffe, Meade County, and Brandenburg. And then we have Bardstown and Hodgenville, and we are adding a new location, Mount Washington, which we are hoping to have open at the beginning of the year if all goes well with construction. So
Well,
brand new building.
That's really great. So I assume all the great services that you provide at your other locations
Yes.
will be available at this Mount Washington location as well.
Yes, and of course our turf is kind of our big thing that we have had at all of our locations if we can, at least in some form. Some are bigger than others. Our E-Town and our Bardstown turf areas are the biggest, but we utilize that turf for the majority of our patients from shoulders to knees to back. So, and of course during COVID it was nice because we had a lot of extra space for treating patients. But just from a standpoint of being able to spread out, do some running, jogging, throwing, depending on what the patient needs, we have space to do all of those things. So we utilize it all the time.
Good to hear that. So maybe briefly go over some the wide range of different services that you offer, including we want to talk about vertigo, which
Yeah.
I would never have thought about. That's something that you would go
Right.
to a physical therapist to treat that problem.
Right.
Maybe explain a little bit what I mean by vertigo,
Yeah.
and then how you go about treating that.
So a lot of people actually don't know. You're not the only one. There are medications that sometimes get prescribed and can help. There are times that that's prescribed and it doesn't help, and sometimes people can't tolerate the medications, and so therapy is recommended at that point too. Vertigo is something where basically the room spins for the patient, and it has to do with some of the crystals aligning in our ears, which people don't think about having those in our ears. But if they're not aligned properly, that's what can set things off to spin. And so we've got some maneuvers that we can do to test for it. Now, there are people that sometimes think they have vertigo, and it's something completely different, and so sometimes we can't treat what they think is going on. But majority of the time, it's fairly accurate, and we've got some testing we can do to see if it's exactly what it is, and then we actually treat the same way typically. Some of the testing is some of the treatment for it too. It's rotating the head, having them change positions from sitting to laying down and then standing back up, just to get those things realigned. We've seen actually quite a bit of vertigo in the last probably 6 to 8 months. We've seen kind of an uptick, and it might just be more so people are more familiar with the therapy side of things with it. But we are predominantly a very heavy orthopedic clinic. We treat, a lot of people post-op, total knees, rotator cuffs, the general surgeries. But we treat a lot of neurological conditions too, back and neck nerve type pain. We treat balance issues that could or could not be caused by vertigo, and post-strokes and some other conditions there too. But we're pretty heavy on the orthopedic side, and with a lot of our athletes as well too. So that's where that turf really comes in handy. But,
Right. So I guess I know a lot of facilities, like especially for soccer and football, they're going to more of like an artificial turf type of thing.
Right.
So, without being too judgmental, do you get more types of injuries from turf than you do from regular grass, or?
So there's actually a lot of talk of that in the major leagues, professional levels, all the way down to college and high school. I do think that there have been some the turf does not move like the grass moves. And so I think that they've linked that to some ACL tears. Now around here, I'm not sure how much that has had a direct effect on our athletes. But I do think that there's a lot of conversation about that and if they can do anything different. There have also been some companies that have changed their cleats, so where the cleats move on the bottom, to try to help with that too. And, you know, us being a turf facility, it's kind of nice because if we have, we may have soccer players dribbling soccer balls while they're running. We may have some of our athletes just throwing and catching, you know, doing some runs for football. You know, we'll throw footballs, we'll throw softballs to them. But just for them to be able to get the feel for what that's like being on the artificial turf is nice for our athletes too, because the speed is very different going from grass to turf. So it's nice for them to have access to that too, and being able to get the real feel of things. But I would say there's definitely a link to it. I just am not sure what all the big dogs are saying with that. So, but it trickles down definitely to people around here too.
That's really interesting. So, like I said earlier, you Physical Therapy Associates has been a long-term sponsor of our sporting events, and we were talking before that you even have a relative or two that are currently in high school sports here?
I do. So I come from a big Catholic family, and we have all grown up around here. Most of us went to Hardin County schools, which I still have a cousin there that's playing soccer. She's a senior this year, so it's the last year for her there. I also have her brother that's playing the boys' soccer side of things too, so he's a freshman. But, you know, I come from a big family around here, and most of us grew up playing sports from, you know, basketball to football to soccer. And so it's been nice to be able to help not just my people, my family, but, you know, all those that I got to grow up alongside too, because there's a lot of people that kind of became family along the way, and that's kind of how our patients feel to us too. So I feel like that's kind of branched out to, of course, E-Town Independent Schools, Hardin County Schools, and I'm sure it's the same for all of our other clinics in the other counties too. But we kind of have that family feel in our clinics, and so it's been nice to be able to take that to the schools, and whether or not they're directly related to us, some of them feel like family, and they'll send people to us just like they are too. And so it's really nice to have that connection with our patients to feel like that.
Great, and as I said, we here at HCEC-TV really appreciate Physical Therapy Associates helping us with our high school sports coverage. So Whitney, as we wrap up here, let's repeat those different locations you have, including the new one that you're going to have.
Yes. So we have our main Elizabethtown clinic that is off of Woodland Drive. We have our satellite office that is off of Ring Road in the Central Medical Plaza. And then we have Ratcliffe, Archtown, Hodgenville, Brandenburg, and Meade County. And then we also have the Mount Washington clinic that should open at the beginning of the year.
Great. So very convenient for wherever you live in this area. You should be pretty close to one of the locations.
Absolutely. And we all offer the same services, so we'll be able to take care of anybody.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Whitney, for joining us and for your for Physical Therapy Associates sponsorship of our athletic coverage.
We're glad to do it. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. And okay, thank you for joining us, and let's return now back to some sporting action.
Welcome back to this evening's 17th District Girls Soccer Championship game between the Elizabethtown Panthers and the Central Hardin Bruins. It's been an exciting first half. Both teams trading punches. Not literally, thank goodness, but it's 1-1. E-Town struck first at the 33:50 mark. Robinson at the goal, and Central Hardin responded about 20 or so minutes later at the 9:11 mark, and Hayes scored to make it a 1-1 affair. So if we're tied at the end of regulation, we have 40 minutes left in regulation, second half. We go to 2 5-minute golden goal opportunities. If one team scores, it's over. And if it's still tied after the 2 5-minute golden goal overtime periods, then it will go to penalty kicks to decide who will be in the winner's bracket next week's region tournament to be played at Nelson County High School. I know in the the region, the Bardstown region, you've got Bethlehem, who's a very good team. E-Town and Central have both played Bethlehem and beaten the defending state champion, Bethlehem Banshees, this year. So those would be probably the one team that's going to pose potentially a problem for both Central Hardin and E-Town. Other than that, I just don't see a lot of give over there. Bardstown will be decent. Greene County is high in the rankings, but Bethlehem played them and beat them 9-1. I just don't see anybody other than Bethlehem giving either Central or Elizabethtown a fight. So we're set to start. Ball is kicked out of bounds by Pritchard, and we are off with the Central Hardin throw-in. Looks like Callahan on that right side. She had swapped sides for just a moment at the end of the last half to take the throw-in. Let's see, Davis with it. She squares up, and ball goes to McGee. Courtney with it, and now Robinson. Robinson looking for Garcia, and this ball is going to go all the way to Ferguson, who's probably 20 yards out of the box. She passes the ball up, and ball is off of Courtney, and we have a throw-in for the Central Hardin Bruins. Davis, Callahan to take the throw. Ball comes in to Bryan. Bryan being defended by Courtney, and we've got our game's first corner kick for the Bruins. So this is the first corner kick of the game. No, it's not a corner kick. Sorry, I was wrong. Announcer was wrong too. It's a throw-in. Comes in, flicked over by Lang, and the ball comes into the middle. Played out by Wallace. Garcia is 1-on-2 with Stith and Rowlett, and Carter's coming down, and Callahan giving chase. Carter falls down, corner of the box, and play is resuming. Ref is not calling anything there. It kind of looked like she dove a little bit, but it was close. Fans were not happy. Pritchard with the ball, passes to Brandenburg. Brandenburg over to Courtney. Courtney finds Carter. Carter 1-on-1. She takes a move, takes a shot, and goes wide left. So we have a goal kick for the Bruins. The play on the corner of the box, I think, was a good non-call. It looked like it could have been something just because there was a little bit of contact, but this game is too important to just call ticky-tack fouls that aren't really there. Ball is played in. Ferguson has to come out, makes a play on it, rolls it out to Callahan. On the right side, she's got a lot of real estate. Brandenburg coming up, put some pressure on. Ball is kicked out of bounds by Courtney. We have a Bruins throw-in. Callahan set to take the throw. Nobody's moving for either team. They're all standing. She throws it in, and the ball is taken over by Wallace. Wallace being pressured there on the sideline. Passes it up to Garcia, and I believe that was kicked out of bounds by the Bruins. It's an Elizabethtown throw. That was Rowlett that knocked the ball out. Ball is thrown up to the corner, being shielded, and it is a goal kick. Callahan and Garcia were just doing soccer moves, jockeying for position, and Garcia just was able to shield her which you are perfectly allowed to do. As long as you're not using your elbows, you can use your body as a shield. Edson set to take the goal kick. We're about 4.5 minutes in. Wallace and David and McGee. Nice move on Davis. She has control of the ball. She passes to the left side to Courtney. Courtney is being challenged. Carter has the ball now. One-on-one with Callahan. Goes through her legs, and Lang is there to clean that up. Kicked out of bounds. We have a throw-in. Courtney will take the throw-in over on this left side, deep in Bruin territory. Carter back to Courtney. Passes into Garcia, who turns. The shot is deflected. Robinson there again. And Ferguson is able to collect that. So Robinson's kind of been, she got the first goal at the 33-50 mark. She was on that one. So this ball was played up to Bryan off of Garcia. Ball had been played up by McGee. We got Stith on this left side. Looks like Callahan coming out. Alma Sarwe is coming in on the right side for the Bruins. Looked like Callahan was holding her hip a little bit. Stith throws the ball off of Robinson. We have another throw by Stith here on the sideline for the Bruins. She's finding Davis. Davis passes it to Garcia, who knocks it out of bounds. Or Courtney, rather. Ball comes into the middle. Oh, we have a collision. And a handball against McGee. Her hand was just kind of sticking straight up, so it was a handball. Pritchard is set to take this kick. Not a lot of movement here. Ball's coming up, and that was off of Pretty, and we have a foul and a free kick for the Bruins. Both teams are more or less standing on these longer kicks, and their goal is to back flick the ball, which works, and it has worked several times for them. Not a lot of movement diagonally, though. Edson kicks the ball up. Bryan is able to come down with it, able to turn, dribbling, and still in the corner, still going, still in. Nope, she goes out of bounds. It went over the end line, so we have a goal kick for the Panthers. Pritchard again to take this goal kick for the Panthers. Davis heads it back in. Lang with the ball. Pritchard and Lang. Lang putting a lot of pressure on. Bryan is up there. Courtney now kicks the ball up off of Wallace. Alma Sarwe is looking to find somebody. Edson with it now. And makes an attempted through ball that Bates is able to collect. She was looking for Bryan up on that right side, and it just went straight to Bates, who punts the ball. Goes all the way to Robinson. Stith with it. Edson had got the ball back. This ball is coming into Garcia. Robinson is close for help. She goes into Carter, off of Almasarwe, over to Pritchard. Pritchard makes a nice little move, cuts it in, finds Garcia at the top of the box, and stuffed by, that was stuffed by Pretty. Now we're battling here. Edson with the ball now, dribbling with space, intercepted by Courtney, who finds Kennedy Carter, who comes all the way back and makes a really nice pass to Garcia. That was a lot of hustle there. Garcia with a shot cross looking, I don't know what that was, but it went out of bounds for a goal kick for the Bruins. So Central Hardin with the goal kick. Wallace comes forward. She does that probably better than most girls that I've seen playing. She comes forward and wins a lot of head balls. Stith throws it straight over to Robinson. That ball goes off of, that goes off of Howell. Howell has just come into the game. Garcia throws the ball, or Courtney throws the ball in. Davis plays the ball up. That ball is played to McGee, but it's broken up very well by Garcia, but taken away by Lang. Oh, we've got a foul at the top of the box on the Elizabethtown, one of the Elizabethtown defenders, and that Garcia is not very happy. However, she's not going to change the ref's mind. And we have a free kick for the Bruins. It looks like Hayes is on the ball. Wallace is pleading her case, but that's about all it is pleading. Again, the ref's not going to change his mind. He walks off 10, and Hayes is set to, we'll see what she's going to do. Is she going to shoot it or chip it? She is going to put it into that no man's land. Bates is there to collect that. She was trying to drop it in over the wall. Lang was running onto it, so Bates made a nice save on that one. Bates drops back, kicks, bounces over Pritchard Robinson. It's bouncing Wallace. Pritchard pops it over to Garcia, who is, she falls down, no foul. Ball, she probably was trying to cut the ball back to her left and kind of stumbled. And Ferguson collects that rather easily. We have a punt by Ferguson. Goes straight to Campbell Wallace's head and goes down to Edson, who's controlling the ball at midfield. She is looking for, I believe, Hayes. Hayes and Yates was able to run that down and actually kick it off her and get a throw in for the Panthers. So we're going end to end here. I'm seeing a lot of good individual and team, well, more so individual plays here defensively, preventing the offense from doing anything. Okay, ball is headed around now several times. Carter with it, trying to go straight up the middle. Stiff passes back to Ferguson, who one time blasts it up to midfield. Pritchard heads it out of bounds. And we are going to have 3 subs for the Bruins. I'll let the PA take the subs. So Callahan is back in, and she's definitely going to be taking the throws for Central. She takes it just now. Ball goes up over Hayes, kicked out to Edson, and then Wallace kicks the ball out of bounds. Thrown for the Bruins. McGee with it. Davis looking for Bryan, and the ball is kicked out by Courtney. Throwing on this left side. Stith going right to Edson. Edson's got some time. She's looking for McGee. Stepped in very nicely by Pritchard. Pritchard stepped into that one very nice. It's about 3-on-5 right now. And she goes right to Garcia, who takes a left-footed shot, and Ferguson's waiting. Ferguson's a little bit taller and didn't even have to jump. Just put her hands up. It's a good save, but she didn't have to do anything, really. Ball goes to midfield. It's headed. And let's see. Edson has it. Howell. Well, that was Rowlett that kind of forced the ball on that. Had it. We have a throw-in for the Panthers. Kicked out again by Callahan. Another throw-in for the Panthers on this left side. Headed out by Callahan again. Another throw-in for the Panthers. It's Carter. She throws it deep into the corner. Garcia's got it. She's being defended by Callahan. And Callahan toe pokes it through her legs out. Throw in for the Panthers. Looks like Carter's taking the throw. She goes to Garcia. She's able to turn. She passes it in. And the ball goes out. Not out of bounds, but out of the box. Robinson was giving chase. Defended well by Central there. Courtney passes that over. And that was a foul by Callahan on Wallace. So you can say one thing, the fouls are physical, but it's a direct kick. I'd say about 10 yards outside of the box. So probably about roughly 30 yards from goal. And it looks like Wallace is taking this. I don't know if she's going to shoot it. Ferguson has to stop it and then drop on it. So she makes the save, more or less a shot. Ferguson throws it out. Stith with the ball now. She sends it up the field. Davis is running onto that. Garcia makes the play, knocks it out of bounds. We have a throw-in. Stith will take the throw on this left sideline. Davis with the ball, turning. Send a nice one into Hayes, but surrounded by 3 E-Town players. That ball's kicked out of bounds by Garcia. Bryan takes the throw, gets it back, passes it in. Oh my goodness, that was well defended by Yates, preventing a goal there. She took the ball almost off the foot of the Central player. Had to, otherwise it would have been a one-on-one with Bates. So the ball's at midfield, and Yates delivers a ball. It's knocked out by Central. Passed up to Robinson. Robinson looking. Stith passes over to Edson. They're running a little bit too straight. They're running straight lines. Angles not quite there. Bates collects that easily, is able to punt it to midfield. Nobody gets a head on it. Carter does a back kick and kicks the ball out of bounds. Throw in for the Bruins. We got a host of Panthers coming in. About 4 new Panthers coming in and 1 Bruin. So Davis, I know Davis is stepping out. Okay, so ball is kicked up by Courtney, out of bounds, and we have a throw-in for the Bruins. Ball is played, it's at midfield. Ball is sent up to the right side. Lang running on. Yates is able to clear the ball. She kicks it on out. We have another Central Harden throw-in, another sub coming in for Central. Looks like Lang is going to take this throw. Stith coming out, and I believe it's Alma Sarway coming in. Yeah, that name is hard to pronounce. Oh my goodness, her throw is so good. It bounces in, bounces up. Central and E-Town still battling for it. McGee barely gets anything on that one, and it's cleared by Pritchard. So a dangerous ball cleared out by Pritchard. Throw-in again from Callahan, who has a rocket of a throw-in. It's a weapon. Definitely a weapon. E-Town is there. Reed with it. Callahan wins that back. And we've got a lot of play on that right sideline. Callahan's going to throw this yet again for the Bruins. Oh, Reed back flicks it inadvertently, and it comes down to, let's see, who was that? That was Payne, number 10, who was able to get a foot on that. E-Town had inadvertently headed it back, and it bounced right to Payne, who was able to get a shot off. It just didn't have any power on it. Bates was right there. Okay, McGee with the ball. She passes to Bryan. Bryan looking for Lang, defended by Garcia, and Lang kicks that out of bounds. Goal kick for the Panthers. This is pretty slim, given that these two teams are both, and they possess the ball well. But the marker for tonight's game is teams that don't give up a lot of goals, and it's going to come down to who makes a mistake and who doesn't. Courtney is set. Like E-Town is subbing in shifts of 4 at a time, and starters are not sitting for long. They're getting just enough, 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes at tops. We're more than halfway through this second half. We've got 18 minutes to go roughly, and it's 1-1. Ball is Robinson's. Callahan with it. Callahan is going up this right sideline, and Pritchard sends it back the other way. Headed the wrong way by Rowlett. I know she didn't mean to do that. Carter flicks it in, and oh, that was close. Garcia with a kick, but Ferguson was able to collect the ball. It was almost a high kick, but she didn't connect, so it was all good. It was physical, but not flagrant. Okay, ball's at midfield. Ball off of Callahan. Back, finds Carter again. It seems like Central is just defending really. I mean, they have the numbers. E-Town's doing this with 3 or 4 at most. Ball knocked out, and Almasarwe to take the throw. Central has more defensively. E-Town needs another 2 or 3 people to come on up and help. So Almasarwe throws this in, goes to Edson, knocked out by Wallace. Another throw by the Bruins. Ball out again, another throw by Almasarwe. Fast. Wallace the ball up. Carter there, but knocked away by Central. Again, one away. Rowlett initially was the first one to kick it away. Okay, we have a throw-in on the right sideline for the Bruins. Again, if this match stays 1-1 at the end of regulation, we will go into 2 5-minute golden goal overtime periods, and it simply means if somebody scores at any point, the game is over immediately. If we're still tied after the 2 5-minute golden goal opportunities, then we will go to penalty kicks. Bryan with the ball, and she is surrounded by Courtney and I believe it's Pritchard over there. or Yates, Courtney and Yates. We have another throw-in. Callahan's going to use her laser technique, and she might do a short one. Yep, she does a short one to Brian, starting her. Carter's right there. She had laid off. The ball is off of Lang. She did not mean to do that. And it's a throw-in for Elizabethtown. Garcia with Rowlett on her back and kicked out. Seems like when Garcia gets the ball, they're double teaming her, not allowing her to do a lot of turning. Any ball that's played for E-Town that's been effective has gone down either the left or the right sideline and then has gotten crossed in. Ball's in the corner, well defended, good shielding, and it's a goal kick. Goal kick for the Bruins. Stith is coming back into the game for Central Hardin. Looks like Callahan stepping out again. All right, Wallace wins that one. Robinson coming down with it, but Edson and Robinson battling. Garcia's there. She finds Carter. Edson steps into the passing lane and is dribbling down the right sideline, looking for Lang. Courtney knocked that one off of Bryant. Of a throw-in for the Panthers. Battling, and it is a stiff throw-in to Lang. Lang pops the ball up. Garcia knocks it out, goes back. Robinson with the ball right now. Stith chasing, passes back to Ferguson, who one-times it up to midfield. Yates on the head. Robinson almost gets at Garcia with that. Okay, so Carter has that. Passes to Robinson. Robinson looking for Garcia. Ferguson says not today. Comes over and makes the sliding save. The diving save, rather. 12:43 left in the match, and we're still knotted up 1-1. Teams have met. The 14 of them, E-Town has won 14 and Central 4. All right, we're moving down the sideline. Bryan with a shot and Bates with a save, and it's a good thing she saved that because you had Lang and I want to say McGee both crashing. Yeah, Lang and McGee were both crashing. Had she not collected that ball cleanly, either one of them could have. Courtney was there. Either one of them could have been there for the toe poke. So we have a throw that's coming in for Central. So Stith will take this throw on this left sideline. Edson has just stepped out, and Alma Sarway had stepped out. Oh, McGee with that. Sends it in. Pritchard sends it up to Carter. Carter sends the ball to Robinson, who's being defended. Lang and Pritchard and a breakaway. Lang slams it. Bates had to come out a little bit, and Lang just missed that to the left. That was a good shot, pretty exciting. So we have an Elizabethtown goal kick. About 10 minutes to go in regulation in this championship game. E-Town 1, Central Hardin 1. Pritchard taking this goal kick. Ball goes up. Davis comes in. One of the shortest players on the field gets in and makes it. takes it. McGee is being pressured by Courtney. Ball comes in. It goes off of Brandenburg, goes back to Bates, who makes the save. So seems like Central's starting to ratchet up the pressure a little bit. These last few minutes we've seen a little bit more action offensively for Central. Ball goes way over half, keeps bouncing. Carter has the ball now. And we have looks like a foul. Looks like Carter was hip check, tripped, fouled. And we have a throw-in. Well, no, it wasn't a foul. It wasn't a called foul. So we have a throw-in for the Panthers. Garcia with it and Callahan battling. And we've got a throw-in in the deep corner on that right side. So McGee and Edson come back into the game. Callahan with a long throw goes off of Courtney on that left side. Callahan could just keep walking up the field if E-Town keeps knocking it out and keeps throwing these long throws. There's really nothing open in the middle. She's using the sideline wisely. And again, right in front of the Central bench. That ball goes out again. Callahan's throwing the ball probably 25, 30 yards. Edson with it. Finds Bryan on that right side, being challenged by Courtney. She crosses it in. It goes off Garcia. Cleared out by Courtney. Edson passing in to Bryan at the corner of the box. Finds Edson. Robinson turns. Rowlett with that one, knocks it out of bounds. We have a throw-in for the Panthers. E-Town's dispossessed of that. Yates sends that up. Garcia's running in. Stith is trying to figure out what she's doing. She kicks it out of bounds. She felt pressure from Garcia coming at her, and Robinson was also in the vicinity. So Courtney's going to throw this ball in. She throws it to Garcia, who's being well defended by Stith and Almasarwe. Or McGee, rather, sorry. And this ball is going up to Lang, but Garcia is there, and she kicks it out of bounds. Lang's been a little slippery back there. Garcia's been up to the task of keeping her out. So Hayes with it, passes it in. Pritchard kicks it out, and Edson takes a long shot. Bates is there. I'd say on a grass field, the ball would definitely bounce higher. The turf, it kind of is a little more subdued on the bounces, so that's an advantage, I guess, for the defensive team. Okay, we have a foul at, I believe Carter was fouled, so we have a free kick for the Panthers. Pritchard is going to take this kick. So what E-Town's been trying to do is knocking the ball in, trying to get ahead on it, trying to back flick it, and having somebody run off the back flick. So we'll see if they're going to, see if they're going to attempt to do that. Well, Carter got her foot on it. McGee got a foot on it. Courtney and McGee. Let's see, Lang. Lang has got the ball. She's streaking up the left side. Yates defends that well, kicks that off of Lang, and gets a throw-in. Throw-in should be for the Panthers, yeah. Courtney's going to take this. Yates defended that well. She was in a position where she needed to, if it were a football game, she needed to make the open field tackle. She did. Okay, ball was passed over to Brian. Brian finds a streaking Callahan who's going up that right side. Courtney coming back to defend. Garcia over there. Ball is kicked out of bounds for a goal kick for the Panthers. The idea was right, but Callahan needed some help. Everyone, she was going deep into the corner. They just needed to shift and come over to help her a little bit. Plus, she had 3 defenders on her, so that makes it difficult. Ball is headed by a central player. Edson with the ball in the middle of the field. She passes to McGee. McGee finds Hayes. Brian running on. Ball may have been played a little. Oh, Bates with a save. Brian had a good run down that right side, was able to turn her hips and make a nice cross. I thought the touch was a little bit heavy, but Brian was fast enough to pick that one up. Bates on the goal kick. Goes to midfield. Robinson. It's now kicked up by Rowlett, headed by Courtney. Robinson and McGee. Garcia, I think the ball's off of, the ball's off of Garcia. We got a throw on this left sideline. Stith going to throw this in. 3:36 left in regulation. The score is E-Town 1, Central 1. If it stays tie, we will go to 2 5-minute golden goal overtimes. Anybody scores, the game is over. If it's still tied after the 2 5-minute golden goal, then it will go to penalty kicks. Wallace passing the ball up. The ball is kicked out by Rowlett. Edson, Robinson with it, pressured by Stith. Not a lot of room for any kind of movement here. Sub coming in, that's why the play stopped. Brandenburg's going out. And Durbin has stepped into the game. So this has been an intensely fought championship game. Wouldn't expect anything else from these two teams. Kicked out. And McGee has it on this left side. She's looking for Lang. Edson has it. Wallace comes back, takes it. Now Edson's got it. Kicked up again by Rowlett. Durbin coming in. Courtney and Brian battling for the ball off of Courtney. Ball will be a throw-in for the Bruins. We're at pretty much the 2-minute mark. It is 1-1. So it's Callahan with the throw. Laser beam right at Durbin, who kicks it over to Brian, who takes a long cross over to McGee. McGee one-times it. Yates is there to clean that up. Ball is sent up to midfield. Almasarwe passes it over to McGee. Headed out by Garcia. Lang is in position. Lang shoots. Oh, just high. Lang had a tremendous opportunity on a ball that had gotten passed through. Balls are just bouncing around. So Lang was there opportunistically, and she had a pretty good look. She just kicked it a little bit high. So we'll see if either team with a minute left can generate any more of these scoring opportunities. Again, both of these teams advance to next week's region play in Nelson County, but it's a pride thing at this point. Two rival schools playing in their district championship for the 19th time since the year 2000. E-Town set to throw. Edson goes up to Carter, defended well by Howell. Ball is kicked up by Courtney, Garcia there, Howell there, and ball gets headed over to Ferguson. Garcia just headed the ball over. Central has 3 or 4 defenders all the time. So we're, at this point, 15, 13, 12 seconds left. We're headed to overtime. In the girls' 17th District championship game between the Elizabethtown Panthers and the Central Hardin Bruins. So we'll go to 2 5-minute golden goal opportunities for overtime. This is an HCEC-TV student production, a division of the Hardin County Schools. Special thanks to our live sports coverage sponsors, Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, eTownSelfStorage.com, West Point Bank, and eTown Exterminating. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable's Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 184. All HCEC-TV programs on the HCEC-TV YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel today to get your local community sports and events. Watch from the Sidelines, a sports show featuring our student athletes and teams. Special thanks tonight to our HCEC-TV crew, Jeremy Miller, Case Taylor, and Isaiah Washington. We would also like to thank NFHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, and its support in providing live streaming service. Contact nfhs.com to subscribe today. Well, we have a low-scoring championship game. It's 1-1. As expected, this game has only seen 1 corner kick and 2 goals. The first goal was scored by Robinson, number 12, for Elizabethtown at the 33:50 mark of the first half. And the game was tied until Chloe Hayes for Central Hardin scored the goal at the 9:11 mark of the first half. So we have played 80 minutes and we have a tie game. So we're going into 2 sudden death 5-minute golden goal, which is 10 minutes total time of overtime period. So 2 5-minute golden goal opportunities. Amazingly, since 2000, these teams have met. This is the 19th meeting between Elizabethtown and Central Hardin since the year 2000, and even more crazy is that Meade County is the only team. Meade County is no longer in this district, but back in 2001, Meade County was able to defeat Elizabethtown in that district final, marking the only time since 2000 that a non-Central or non-E-Town team has won. And Meade County is no longer in the district. So it's just safe to say these 2 programs just have produced winning teams, winning programs, just kind of begets itself. And it's no different this year, which makes it interesting. Again, both teams will advance to the 5th region next week at Nelson County. Bragging rights are on the line, essentially, and not playing the winner of the Bardstown and Bethlehem game is the other thing you're trying to avoid if you're Coach Maddock or Coach Zoller at this point. You're just trying to, both teams are advancing no matter what. And suffice it for me to say, wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for both the Bruins and the Panthers to meet up in the championship game for the region. That's happened numerous times already, and it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination to see it again. The problem is you've got a very good Bethlehem team that's been all the way to the state final, beating Sacred Heart last year in a thriller of a game. The E-Town Panthers actually were winning in the 5th region final against Bethlehem and ended up losing the game. Bethlehem had come back and they kind of took that and ran with it into the state and played a tremendous Sacred Heart team that was the defending state champion at the time and beat them, I think it was 5-4. Crazy game. But this game's been full of a lot of excitement, a lot of action, and we're getting ready to start here in about a minute or so. Special thanks again to our HCEC-TV crew, Jeremy Miller, Case Taylor, and Isaiah Washington. The match for the boys' 17th District Tournament Final is set for supposed to be played at 7:30 over at John Hardin High School tonight at the conclusion of this game. So fans that are supporting the Bruins or Panthers will, if they're wanting to watch their boys, will have to make the trip after this match over to John Hardin, which is it's only about a 6-mile drive. The only reason I know that is because I've driven a bus and I know the mileage. So it's not a long trip from E-Town to John Hardin. Okay, looks like we're getting ready to start this first golden goal opportunity period, overtime period. Again, it's 5 minutes. Whoever scores first, it's over. So it looks like Brandenburg is going to take the kick for the Panthers. And you can look at this one of two ways. Either press and take chances and try to score, or just stay true to what you've been doing. Play defensive. If you got an opportunity to break out, break out. Both goalies are pretty well. Ferguson's only allowed 20 goals and Bates is only allowed 14. So, I mean, you got two good goalies. Okay, we're underway. Ball is kicked up and kicked out by Almasarwe on that left side. We have a throw-in for the Panthers. This is the first overtime period. Ball thrown in, headed out of bounds again. And Courtney going to take this throw-in again. Looking to work down the sideline. Okay, it is kicked up. Lang with the ball, able to turn for a split second, but didn't really have control of the ball. And Courtney's going to take another throw-in for the Panthers. All right, ball is headed up, played in, and Ferguson's going to easily collect this ball. No harm, no foul there. Too easy. So we'll see what Central's going to do with it. That ball is headed up straight to Edson. Edson looking. Yates is back there with Brian. Brian was right there and still has the ball. Garcia's defending. And they're playing on, and it looks like we have a free kick because Brian went to the ground and then it became a dangerous kick or a dangerous play. So it's a kick for Pritchard, who sends it up. Robinson there. Oh, she looked like she handled the ball with her hand directly. I don't think the ref saw it. Yes, he did see it. Actually, Almasarwe must have handled the ball. It did look from this perspective that Robinson handled it first, and then Almasarwe was the one caught handling it. So that happens sometimes. All right, Pritchard is set to take the kick. And she lofts it into the middle. Edson heads that out. McGee is with the ball now. She passes the ball up to Garcia of the wrong team. She just passed it up. Brandenburg being pressured by McGee. Ball comes over. Robinson now has it. She turns. Almasarwe is defending. Pokes it out with her leg. And Robinson takes the throw. Comes to Garcia. Garcia crosses in. Nobody's there. And Ferguson easily collects that. So we're about halfway through this first overtime golden goal period, and we're still knotted at 1. Ball is headed up by Wallace. That's kicked out by Rowlett. McGee with it, challenged by Brandenburg. Pritchard there, able to find McGee on that left side. Bates is coming out to the very top corner of the box. So about 1:45 left. And Bates is going to send this one up the field. E-Town doesn't seem to be in too much of a hurry, which you really wouldn't need to be. That's off of Wallace. McGee is asking for the ball and throwing it. Stith will now take the throw. Got about 1.5 minutes left. Lang being pressured by Brandenburg. Edson with it is passed up to really nobody. And Callahan signaling to Ferguson. Going back! Oh my goodness, that was kind of that was a dangerous play. She didn't put a lot on that, and Ferguson didn't look rattled, but that scared me. I'm not playing. Okay, ball is sent up. You've got Garcia clearing it out. McGee had a good run on the ball. Lang with the ball now. About 47 seconds left. She's on the left side. She makes a move. Passes it over to McGee. McGee stuffed by one of the Pritchard, I believe, and now Bates has the ball with about 34 seconds left in the first overtime period.
28 seconds left.
Bates set to kick and delivers. Ball is sky high. Ball bouncing. Garcia comes down with it. Over to Robinson. Kicked out of bounds by Stith. We have about 10 seconds left. Courtney throws that in, flicked on. Garcia, Edson, and we're going to the second 5-minute session. So knotted at 1. Knotted at 1. So the refs are signaling for 2 minutes to be put on the clock for the intermission between the overtime periods. This is an HCEC-TV student production, a division of the Hardin County Schools. Special thanks to our live sports coverage sponsors, Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, eTownSelfStorage.com, West Point Bank, and eTown Exterminating. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable's Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 184. All HCEC-TV programs on the HCEC-TV YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel today to get your local community sports and events. Watch from the Sidelines, a sports show featuring our student athletes and teams. Special thanks tonight to our HCTV crew, Jeremy Miller, Case Taylor, and Isaiah Washington. We would also like to thank NFHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, and its support in providing live streaming services. Contact nfhs.com to subscribe today. So, we are set to start here in about 40 seconds. This second overtime, Girls 17th District Championship, the 19th time that the Central Hardin Bruins and the Elizabethtown Panthers have squared off in the final. E-Town owns the series right now, 14 wins, 4 losses. Central sitting at 4 wins, 14 losses. All of that is irrelevant. This is, if you're looking at history, I guess it's relevant, but it's 2024, and I don't think anybody from either team cares 2 licks about the 18 previous meetings. So I believe Central will have the ball to start off the second overtime period. These teams have both played pretty hard, pretty physical. It's been pretty well played. So we're set to start this second overtime period. We got 5 minutes. Again, if anybody scores, the game is over, and they will be declared champion. Loser will be considered runner-up. Okay, ball is sent in, headed out, kicked out. McGee with the ball at Central. And kicked out of bounds, I believe. Yep, out of bounds, so we'll have a throw-in for Central Hardin. At the conclusion of this game, we'll have the district all-tournament team selection for both teams. Stith makes the throw up the sideline. McGee with it. That goes back to Rowlett, over to Edson. Edson looking. Yates very astutely gets that one. Carter has that on the left side. Callahan pressuring. Those two have been battling together all night. It's been a good battle. Callahan throws the ball amazingly well down the sideline. Kicked up the sideline at the feet of Carter. Finds the feet of Garcia. Turns on Rowlett. Takes a shot, and it comes right, more like a cross. She was out really far. Ferguson rolls out to McGee. She's being pressured from behind by Robinson. She finds Davis. Davis over to McGee, being pressured by Courtney. She's able to cross it. It's flicked up, headed, and score! McGee, number 15, the game winner. Central Hardin Bruins are the 17th district champions on the goal by McGee. Number 15 gets the game-winning goal at the 3:28 mark of the second overtime. Congratulations to the Central Hardin Bruins for winning that game. Audrey McGee on the game winner. She just hit that really well. The ball came, it had gotten popped up, and it came rolling out to her. She one-timed it at about the top of the 18, and she found the lower left corner. Bates didn't even have a chance to dive at that point. So game is officially over in overtime. Central Hardin, congratulations again to both teams. Both Elizabethtown and Central Hardin will be advancing to next week's game, region games at Nelson County. Starting over at John Hardin very shortly, we have the boys of Central Hardin playing against the E-Town boys, the Panthers of Elizabethtown. So at the conclusion here, I'm going to let the PA announcer take over for announcing the all-district tournament team, and we'll see the presentation of the 17th district trophy. So this is the 5th time that the Central Hardin Bruins have claimed a victory over the Elizabethtown Panthers in a district tournament final. These teams have played each other a lot over the years. Up until, I think, last year, for a good chunk of time, they were playing each other twice during the regular season, a home and away, and then they would, for the most part, meet in the district finals, and then again in the district, in the region finals. So many, many years these teams were playing each other 4 times. Plus their schools located very close to each other. These girls probably all know each other well anyway. So no love lost between them. But that was a great game. The first goal in the first half, Robinson for E-Town, got the scoring going at the 33-minute mark. Hayes knotted the game up at the 9:11 mark of the first half. We went into halftime tied 1-1. And then we went into an entire half of no scoring. And then we went into the first overtime with no score. And then at the 3:28 mark of the second golden goal overtime period, Audrey McGee hit the game winner. So this is an HCEC-TV student production, a division of the Hardin County Schools. Okay. We're going to do the all-tournament team. PA announcer will take this away. Number 11, Kennedy Carter for Elizabethtown. This is part of the all-tournament team. So there should be 4 girls from Elizabethtown and 5 girls from Central Hardin.
Number 12, Emma Robinson.
Emma Robinson, she had the goal in the first half.
Number 22, Campbell
Campbell Wallace, number 22 for the Panthers, third girl for the all-district tournament team.
Please keep your attention in midfield so we can recognize the 17th District All-Tournament Team Selection for Central Hardin High School.
Maybe it's, okay, it's 4 and 3. So Molly Bryan is the first young lady for Central Hardin as part of the all-district tournament team. It's 4 for the winners and 3 for the losers. Shelby Edson, number 3.
Number 15, Audrey McGee.
And the young lady who hit the game winner, number 15, Audrey McGee.
Number 24, Ava McGee.
And her sister, Ava McGee. And that should do it.
Please congratulate the 2024 17th District Girls Soccer runner-up, the Elizabethtown High School Panthers.
So runner-up trophy going to the Elizabethtown Panthers. They are 13-5-4 going into the region, and neither one of these teams had lost since September the 14th. Okay, so Central Hardin goes to 12-5-3, and they are your 17th district champions.
Congratulations.